Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. What I first wanted to just say and just give my thoughts on is since the end of February, so March and April, I sort of made a decision just to pull back a bit from doing any new classes or doing too many sessions and just really just going within, also taking a little bit of a break. I did always keep up with some open sessions and my regular circles on the weekends, but literally I kind of took most of March and April down as much as I possibly can. So, I mean, I still meditated sometimes. I sat in the power sometimes, not as much as I usually would do. And I don't know, I read, I watched Netflix, I went on walks when the weather permitted. But I have to say that, and this has happened definitely in the past with me when I've just taken a break and just wanted to be me, live a human life, and go out, have dinner, things like that, and not move away from mediumship and not move away from spirit, but not be so inundated with sessions and assessments and classes and things like that, which I think is totally fine. But I have to say that what I missed, and I'm starting to work again today, and already spirit is like bombarding me with things. But what I missed the most was just sitting in the energy of spirit, because I'm very fortunate in that this is what I do full time. And regardless if I'm giving a reading or giving an assessment or have a private session with someone that's working with me, or I'm leading a circle or doing a class, whenever I do anything with mediumship or healing, I'm sitting in the presence of spirit. So I'm always getting the spirit energy. So I have to say, when I did pull away a bit and just took a little bit of a break, I certainly didn't feel disconnected, but my energy got a bit lower. And last night, because I knew I was really starting up full force today, again, that I just sat and I just reached out to my guides into the spirit world. And I was asking them, what do you do? What's the energy that you give me and give us, the ones that work with spirit a lot? And what is this? And really what I got was that anything you do with the spirit world, you're moving your spirit to the essence of the spirit world, to the spirit communicator, to your spirit guides, spirit control, whatever, healing guides. And you're just topping up your energy and your power. And it's sort of like your spirit is remembering how it feels to go home to the spirit world, to God. So anything you do with spirit, it just raises your vibration, raises your energy. So the more that I would work, and usually I work quite a bit, my energy, my spirit is really fully charged. So regardless if I'm ready to do a session and I didn't sleep well, or I have a bit of a headache, whenever I got my butt into this seat and was ready to work, the power would hit. And I would not be tired. I would be always excited. And the time went really quickly. But it's really interesting when you pull yourself away a bit, how you do feel the difference. And I did feel definitely my energy was lower and I was tired more. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, that the more you work with spirit, the more your spirit works with you, and the brighter and more powerful your spirit is. So I'm really looking forward to getting back and working quite a bit over the next few months. It's like my summer of spirit. So yeah, but I woke up this morning, had all these emails, all these messages, people wanting readings, assessments, asking what classes I'm doing. So that was really cool, because none of it really stopped. When I made the decision just to take a break and recharge myself, I didn't get that many emails. I didn't have that many inquiries, but literally when I woke up this morning, because today I basically start again full power, so many people. So I really love that. So I reached out to the spirit world and just thanked them for respecting my time, my time here in the physical world, in the material world. And but they knew that break was over, time to get back to work, chop, chop, chop. Okay. So but during my hiatus, break, whatever, I'm continuing to read. I always read. I'm a huge vintage spiritualism book junkie, so I'm always reading. I'm tagging, as you see, as I've shown people before, just things that resonated with me. What I'm going to do with all these things, no idea. But what I'm almost done reading for like the third time, because when I read it the first time, I didn't mark what I liked or what resonated with me. So I'm rereading it. Is Silver Birch Speaks by Sylvia Barbanel. And I'm at the end of the book, which is good. And the last chapter is basically called Any questions? And it's basically Silver Birch answering questions in the circle that his medium, Maurice Barbanel, sat in. And it's just the circle members asking Silver Birch questions as his medium, Maurice Barbanel, was in trance. So I would just wanted to read this because it's interesting. Anyway, I'm being pushed to really read this and just talk about it for a minute. So let me go. Sorry, I can't read with my glasses anymore. Okay, so why began a question. Do certain people who attempt to give service in spiritualism meet with so much frustration in material affairs? Meaning, when we work with the spirit world, why do challenges come very quickly and all of this stuff starts to bubble up from inside, and a lot of self-healing will start, but also just in material things, people sort of resisting you, or people thinking you're crazy, or people not wanting to listen to you, calling you a fake, all these things. So basically, it was so much frustration in material affairs. And Silver Birch answers, sorry, it's quite long, and there's another part I want to get to. But because he who strives to serve must be tried and tested to the uttermost, said Silver Birch. Those who are to be soldiers in the army of spirit must be strong enough to withstand any difficulty, meet any obstacle, to rise triumphant over all troubles that assail them. What is the use of instruments of the spirit who will fall by the wayside when the first difficulty comes their way? Those who are to give the greatest service must be tried and tested in purifying flames, for what emerges has the strength and durability of steel. All that which seems to be frustrating is inevitably be part of the plan of discipleship. So that actually really hit me. I might go on and read a bit more. Oh, actually, one more part. If those who are called upon to serve had a life that was a bed of roses with no trials, no stresses, no storms, no troubles, then their character might not emerge as it should, and they might not be great enough to perform the task that awaits them. Okay, so I like that, because everyone that I work with and most mediums that I know, none of us have had an easy life. None of us have. A lot of us have had deaths, illness, childhood trauma. I don't really want to get into it, but like abuse, mental, physical, doesn't matter. But we've all gone through these trials and tribulations, and what emerges on the other side, if we allow ourselves to emerge, is way stronger. And like Silver Birch said, has the durability of steel. Okay, so I do know that we come to this physical world, this material realm, to learn. And I've had a lot of people ask me, well, if you talk about the spirit world and you read spirit teachings about how beautiful it is, and it's the world of thought, and you can create whatever you want in the spirit world. You can create a home that you want to live in. You can create music. You learn. You can teach. You can create healing and send it back to Earth. Why would we want to come here to the physical world? Because this is certainly not an easy camping place in the physical world. It's not an easy classroom. But why would we want to come here? And it really is to learn, to go through these trials and tribulations, to go through these problems that we have to solve, and realize that our soul, our spirit, is indestructible. You can't destroy the human spirit. And I find it's those of us who understand these challenges are only opportunities to learn. And the more you really want to work with spirit full time and be that ambassador to them, and as I always say, the voice of the voiceless in the physical world to the spirit world, they will test you. So you have to understand that, and you also have to expect it. But that's okay, because you will, if your intention is pure to be of service, you will make it to the other side. We will always be tested. There's no ending to the testing. There's no ending to how much we can survive. Because everything we do, every challenge, every opportunity to learn that we can move through and succeed to get to the other side of that, we're making ourselves stronger. Okay, so it doesn't matter what it is. It might be healing that you have to do. It might be something from childhood. It might be just personality things that you have to deal with. It might be external, as Silver Birch was saying, in terms of material issues, like people, money, things like illness. Not that that's material, but in terms of dealing with illness, your illness of loved ones, the loss of friends, spouses, children. We have this in our path. This I know, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's just the way it works, because the more you can get through and the more you can survive, the clearer and purer channel you are, and the better a conduit you can become for their wisdom and their evidence of so-called death to move through you. I don't have the book here. No, I don't. But there's another book that I quote a lot in some of my open sessions. It's a book it's actually a pamphlet at the back of another book, but it's called Letters from Our Daughters, and it's written through the transmediumship of I believe it's Cynthia Sandys and Rosamund Lehman wrote the book, and I believe it's Cynthia Sandys that wrote it, but they both lost their daughters in spirit. So Letters from Our Daughters is like this whole sort of post-mortem experience of these two daughters waking up in the spirit world in spirit hospitals where they're taken care of and sort of reacclimated into the spirit world, but talking about how the spirit world works and what they've experienced. And there's this one part, and I forget if it's which daughter it was of Cynthia Sandys or Rosamund Lehman, but where they're taken by the spirit world, by their guides, to this sphere. There's a sphere of existence, and they look and they are aware of souls, spirit, that are being prepared to be incarnated into the physical realm, and how that we're tested before we come to this physical world. We're tested to make sure that we're strong enough and have balance. That's kind of what they say, where they say what happens to souls that don't come to the physical realm and they go to other realms, and why that earth is so sought after by these really strong, sturdy spirits, because you have to have the balance to survive here, is because it's a very quick classroom. It's a very quick learning experience. And I do believe we come to the physical world to learn. And I do believe when we pass and go back to the spirit world, we continue to progress. But I also think that we probably really bring what we've learned in the physical realm to spirits that have not come to the physical world, because I do believe we are teachers at the end of the day. This is just one other part. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. I just want to read one other thing that Silver Birch wrote, and I'll stop quoting things, I promise. That it's like, why do our guides work through us? Why are they also giving us counsel and guidance and trying to show us that we're loved, that we're special, that we don't pass, that we don't die, we continue? And why are they always trying to push us to be unified, to love each other? That it's about compassion, it's about love, it's about loving your fellow human, and that's really the law, is love and cause and effect. Any effect, there was a cause for it. Anything that you do, there's an effect, and that's true. So you should live a spiritual life. You should live a life with love, and then you attract these things. Okay, so it's about the cause and effect. But I like what he wrote here. He just said, there are unfortunately far too many who pass into the world of spirit before they are ready. If all who came to us were prepared, there would be no need for us to labor in your world. It is because so many come here unprepared, unready, without all of the equipment of the soul and character that should be theirs, that we have to work in your world to spread these elementary truths, which should be in the possession of everybody. So I really like that, because it really does explain why they're working with us, why they're coming here, why they're coming down, because I do believe they're in the upper realms, why the spirit world wants to help us. And I do really believe it's because they're trying to prepare us for our life in spirit, to go home to spirit. And the more we can spiritually progress and understand our own spirit and understand we all have that spark of God within us, and that we're all connected, and that it's really all about the first principle of spiritualism, the fatherhood of God, and the second principle, the brotherhood of man, brotherhood, sisterhood of man, that we're all connected and we all make up one cohesive life form. And they're really trying to teach us that the more you can take that to heart and really live your life with compassion and love, the brighter our world can become. And that you really do, we are. And I mean, that's, if you just look what's happening in the world right now, there's so much division and so much hatred, and how all these other things are coming with being called in by that energy, So the more you can just live and surrender yourself to God and the love of God and the love of spirit, and always see yourself as a spiritual being, and that you're not any better than anyone else, regardless of where you live, what you look like, who you love, how much money you make, all these things, they don't matter. We're all equal in the eyes of God. There's no skin color in the spirit world. The spirit world identify with each other from the light of their spirit. Okay. So anyway, I will try to slice these two videos together and just make them as seamless as possible. I'm sorry again for the break, but yeah, so that's really what I was sort of inspired to talk about today. I'm going to try to keep doing more content now that I'm back working, but I hope everyone has a lovely day, and love to you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.